When the estate lawyer called, all he said was, "The previous cleaner didn't finish." I should have asked why, but I went in anyway. And now, I don't think I ever left that house. I do house clear-outs for a living. Hoarders, crime scenes, foreclosures. Places no one else wants to touch. I work alone. I like it that way. 3 weeks ago, I got a job through a probate lawyer in Oregon. A man named Harold Whitlock died alone in his home. No next of kin. The house had to be emptied before it could be sold. The lawyer said the last guy quit halfway through. Left all his gear, wouldn't return calls. That should have been my first clue. The place was in the woods. No neighbors, barely a road. 2 stories, sagging porch, windows like black eyes. But it wasn't falling apart. No rot, no broken glass. Just still, like the house was holding its breath. I stepped inside, and the air hit me like a wall, stale, metallic like pennies and dust and something that had been rotting for too long. But there were no bodies, no food, no mold, just stacks of books, newspapers, boxes, piles of broken clocks. Hundreds of clocks, none of them ticking. I started in the basement. Trash mostly, but when I moved an old sheet, I found something that froze me. A circle burned into the concrete. Inside it, dozens of dead insects, all arranged perfectly, like they'd died mid-worship. I told myself it was just a weird obsession. Old man, alone too long, lost his mind. That worked, until I found the recordings. They were cassette tapes, labeled by date, going back years. I listened to one. The voice, thin, raspy, was Whitlock's. It watches from a wall again. It's smiling today. I think it knows I'm leaving. Another. I try to smash the mirror. I heard it scream. That's when I noticed it. Every room in that house had a mirror. Not decorative ones. Big, square, industrial ones. And every single one was covered with a black sheet nailed into the wall. Except one. The one in the hallway. It wasn't broken or dusty. In fact, it was spotless, too clean. When I looked into it, I saw myself. But I wasn't moving. I blinked. My reflection didn't. I backed away, heart pounding. When I looked again, normal. Just me. Shaking. Pale. I blamed the dark, the stress, lack of sleep. I kept working, but weird things started happening. Subtle at first. I leave a box in one room, find it in another. Lights flickered even though the power was disconnected. One night, sleeping in my truck, I heard someone walking around inside. Slow, deliberate, dragging something heavy. I checked. The house was empty, but the footprints were real. Muddy, bare feet leading to that hallway mirror. The next night, I put tape over the mirror. 5 thick strips. Went to bed. When I woke up, the tape was on my chest, in the shape of a hand. I snapped. I wanted out. Called the lawyer. Told him I was done. He said I couldn't quit. Not until I closed the loop. His words. I demanded answers. He sighed and said, "It attaches to places and then people. You're not the first, but you might be the last if you do this right." I hung up. I went back in with a hammer and started smashing the mirrors. One by one, shards flying, metal frames bending, until I got to the basement. There, hidden behind a shelf, was a mirror I hadn't seen before. Oval like an antique. Not dusty. Not cracked. I lifted the hammer, and the mirror smiled. Not my reflection. The thing in the glass. It looked like me, but the eyes were wrong. Too wide. No whites. It raised its hand and waved. Then it spoke. "We don't leave until we're done." The voice didn't come from a mirror. It came from behind me. I turned, swung the hammer wildly. Nothing. But when I looked back, the mirror was gone. Just a wall now. Smooth. Seamless. I left that night. Burned every tape. Smashed every last piece of glass. I thought it was over. But here's the twist. 3 days ago, I saw someone on the subway. He looked exactly like me. Same jacket. Same scar on my eyebrow. He smiled and stepped into the closing doors. I ran home. Tore down every mirror. Every reflective surface. But I still catch glimpses. Shop windows, puddles, even my own shadow. It's not synced anymore. It lags. Just a little. I don't know what followed me out of that house. I don't know if it's me or something pretending to be. All I know is this. I haven't blinked in 36 hours, but my reflection just did. And maybe this will stay with me for the rest of my life. 3 nights ago, my phone rang with a number that didn't exist. I shouldn't have answered it. Now I hear voices through every speaker, and they're getting closer. I work nights. Tech support for a security company. Home alarms, cameras, motion sensors. It's all routine. Isolate the issue, run the diagnostic, reassure the customer. But the worst part of night shifts isn't the boredom. It's the silence. The kind of silence that amplifies everything. 3 nights ago, at 2:13 a.m., the landline rang. Not my cell. The desk phone. The one that only rings when there's a customer call routed through the company line. The screen showed a number that made no sense. 000 000 0000. I answered. Security systems. This is Liam speaking. Static. Then a whisper. Not in the headset. Behind me. In the room. Can you hear me now? I turned so fast my chair nearly flipped. The office was empty. Just the humming servers. The pale green light of the monitors. Back on the line, the whisper continued. Raspy, desperate like breath on glass. Help me. It sees you too. Then silence. Deadline. I logged the call and moved on. Or tried to. At 3:06 a.m., another call. Same number. This time, when I picked up, I heard a recording. My own voice from a call I handled earlier that night, verbatim. Only it ended differently. Instead of my usual, have a good night, the recording ended with, it's in the walls now. Don't turn around. My skin went cold. I spun my chair. Nothing. But the static lingered, buzzing in the phone even after I hung up. I checked the server logs. No record of either call. That's when I noticed something on the camera feeds. Our test suite has 20 screens looping footage from empty houses for training purposes. Camera 17 flickered, then cut to black. It came back a few seconds later. Same hallway. But now, something stood at the edge of the frame. A silhouette. Not moving. No features. Just watching. Then it smiled. Not with a face, with the static itself. Like the image twisted into a grin, pixel by pixel. I rewound the feed. Nothing. Played it again. Still gone. But every time I blinked, the screen shimmered. Like something was behind it, pressing against the glass. I told myself I was tired. That I was letting the night mess with me. I want to get coffee from the break room. As I passed the glass wall of the server room, I saw my reflection. Only it wasn't doing what I was doing. It lagged just a little. Half a second off. Then it caught up and smiled. I backed away slowly. My heart was a drum in my chest. The reflection didn't move. Until it tilted its head. That's when I ran back to my desk. I was done. I was going to log out and go home. Warnings be damned. But the monitor was already typing. A text document had opened, and words were appearing. You answered. You listened. Now you hear US. I tried to shut it down. The mouse froze. The keyboard locked. Static began to rise from the speakers, not from any system output, from somewhere beneath the plastic. Then came the third call. This time I let it go to voicemail. The message was exactly 13 seconds long. It was me, screaming. Then silence. Then, you're not Liam anymore. That's where the twist comes in. I left the building that night. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I started recording myself, filming everything, checking the timestamps, watching for glitches. And I saw it. The delay. In reflections. In videos. In shadows. My smile showing up before I smiled. My voice echoing before I spoke. On night 2, I stopped answering any phone, landline or cell. But then the TV in my living room turned on by itself. No remote. No signal. Just static. And a whisper. Come back. You're the frequency now. I went to a psychiatrist yesterday. Told her everything. She listened calmly. ask questions. Then she handed me a file from across the table. It was my own name, my own face. Marked do not release. Inside were notes from 3 years ago. Delusional episode. Said I was hearing voices and static. Claimed I worked tech support. The psychiatrist said I'd been on medication ever since a nervous breakdown caused by a phantom call. She said I've never worked in tech, but I remember everything. The coffee-stained desk, the hum of the monitors, the second-long delay in the reflection. I remember answering that call. It's quiet now. Too quiet. I unplugged everything. Burned the phone. Ditched the Wi-Fi. No screens. No speakers. But when I breathe near glass, I still see the shimmer, a pulse in the reflection. And tonight, I swear, when I looked into the unplugged TV, I saw my face blink before I did. So if your phone rings and the number reads all zeros, do not answer.